CARE's contribution is grounded in 60+ years of working with communities in health and nutrition, education, water and sanitation, agriculture and natural resources, food security, and emergency relief. Over and over again, we see the results of strengthening people's own ability to provide for themselves and for their families. But it will require more than just business as usual. To end poverty, we've got to tackle the factors that make people poor and keep them poor, change the practices and policies that hold people back. And this includes policies in their countries, but it also includes policies here in our own country. CARE's policy and advocacy agenda aims to do 4 things. First, we aim to leverage the power of women who can help entire families and communities to escape poverty. Our focus is on key periods in the life cycle of women and girls. So improving maternal mortality, creating opportunities for girls' education and leadership, providing women with access to financial resources, and ending gender-based violence, especially that occurs in conflict situations. Second, we want to adopt a new strategy to fighting hunger that goes beyond just emergency relief to ensuring long-term food security. Given the current food crisis, this is a critical issue and one in which you're going to be raising in your meetings with your legislators tomorrow. Third, we want to reduce the impact of global climate change on people living in the world's poorest communities who really are the people who bear the brunt of our neglectful policies in rich nations. And fourth, we want to work on modernizing a severely outdated system and approach to foreign aid to get better results that actually have a sustained impact on reducing global poverty. Now, accomplishing these goals will require action by CARE, but it will also require action by our other partners. Let me give you an example. 2 years ago at this conference, we asked participants to advocate on behalf of a bill called the Democratic Republic of Congo Relief, Development, and Security Act. The Democratic Republic of Congo, or the DRC, was recovering from one of the deadliest conflicts since World War II and was about to hold its first democratic elections in nearly 50 years. Thousands of civilians continue to be killed, injured, and forced from their homes due to ongoing insecurity. Senator Barack Obama and Senator Sam Brownback had introduced legislation calling for an increase in U.S. engagement in DRC, working towards peace and recovery, and sought to end the systematic acts of violence by many of its citizens, particularly women and girls. CARE staff and advocates like you worked hard to press this bill. Constituents lobbied on Capitol Hill, responded to our actions alert, called members of Congress, and really made an all-out push for this legislation. Thanks to these collective actions, including by many of you who are in this room today, Congress passed that act in December 2006. While the Democratic, thank you. It's great. Now, while the Democratic Congo proceeds on a long road to recovery, the United States has continued to increase its commitment, both financially and diplomatically, to helping the Congolese find a sustained path to peace and development. We've remained engaged throughout the bill's implementation. Staff working in the region have testified in front of Senate and have provided briefings about what's really going on, what's the situation on the ground. And we continue to push for the end to violence against women and girls, which has become a worldwide problem with the special implications in some of the poorest of countries, and particularly those who are in the midst of conflict or post-conflict. This year, we're calling on Congress to address a bill called the International Violence Against Women Act, so that the U.S. can take a much more proactive role in integrating violence prevention and treatment efforts into its foreign assistance program. That's what it looks like to make a difference, and we couldn't do it without all of you in this room, so thank you again. Today and tomorrow, you will have the chance to help change the world. That may sound like an overstatement, but consider what you're doing. You will be lobbying on 3 incredibly timely issues. You'll be telling your representatives in Congress, I traveled from my district because I want you to do more to fight chronic hunger. I want you to protect women and girls. I want you to cap greenhouse gas emissions and do all that you can to help the world's poorest people cope with the effects of climate change. I am your constituent, and I vote. There are more than 30,000 lobbyists on Capitol Hill. Only 50 of those lobbyists work full-time on issues related to global poverty. So tomorrow, when this force of nearly 500 people who have traveled from 39 states arrive in the offices of their elected officials, you will be delivering a very powerful message. You will be speaking not only for yourselves, but for all those back at home who also believe in these issues. And let me assure you, your presence and your voice carry a great deal of weight. In 2006, a group of 9 Texans convinced their Houston congressman to withdraw an amendment that would have cut $600 million from development assistance. Last year, just 1 week after this conference, the House of Representatives began debating how much money the U.S. should spend on programs to fight poverty. Speaking on the floor of the Congress, Representative Jerry Lewis from California said, "In a recent meeting with CARE and others, I noticed that more and more people are beginning to understand that they too have a role in leadership in the world. Theirs are the voices from the grassroots. We must continue to lead in the world, for indeed, without our leadership, the poor of the world will suffer most." Later that month, the House approved $34 billion for U.S. foreign assistance. So don't underestimate the power you have and the impact that you're having. You made a choice when you decided to join this effort, a noble, a compassionate, and an optimistic choice. You chose to make things better. You may never get the chance to meet the people whose lives you will be changing. They may never know exactly what you did to change their lives, but together, you and they are improving our world. And as a result, we are all better off. So thank you so much for being here today and tomorrow. Thank you.